This is my 2009 Ford Flex. It used to be my mom's car. She bought it back in 2009. And I was 1 year away from graduating high school when she bought this. And now I have it. Well, it needs brakes. It actually needs a handful of things. Mostly just wear and tear stuff. Today in this video, we're going to replace the front brakes. The last time I did them was about 10 years ago, 2015, 2016. And we put this EBC brakes kit on, which is just slotted rotor and some carbon fiber, something rather witchcraft brake pads. Well, they're spent. I got shake in the steering wheel when I hit my brakes. That's usually caused by front rotors being warped. Pads are getting low. So, without any further ado, get to work. I think this car only had like 73,000 miles on it when we put these brakes on, but they're not, the rotors are not too bad, but they are definitely, they've got a little bit of a shake, and it's unfortunate because I could have just pad slapped it. These are the new rotors. They're just Wagner brake rotors. Oh man, I haven't been under here in a minute. You know, I bought a Brembo brake pad kit for this thing, which these are these pads here. And it come with new hardware. That's okay. This stuff is decent, but I don't get some hardware. Also, when you squeeze your pistons back in, make sure you have room in the brake master's reservoir. And you also want to make sure that you do kind of slow. Don't do it too fast. Some cars don't like it when you do it super fast. Watch this neat calipers. You're like, no! Okay, neat. Looks like I knocked a spring out. How do these go in? Okay. One of those. How are these babies looking? They're not too bad. Comparing to the new ones, I'd say they're like... Some of you may notice that both brake pads look a little different, or quite a bit different. The ones that I took out that came with that EBC brake kit, they're the wrong pads for this car. So fortunately, when I ordered new ones, I, for some reason, remembered that and made sure I got the right pads. 50% maybe? Inner brake pad. This is looking not too bad actually. Maybe a little uneven. I need to pop these guys out, clean them real quick, and put some fresh grease in there. Alright, it's time to beat the brakes off of this. Oh, we could still reuse that. Well, I'm out of brake cleaner, so on to the next expensive thing. These don't really have any These aren't gloopy with Cosmoline. So I'll take an IPA wipe. Reassembly is just a reversal of taking it apart. I hate it when people do that and then they don't show anything. Well, I'm here to show you me working on this, putting it back together. Got this working a little bit better. It's greased up. They're under vacuum apparently. Yeah, it's moving pretty good now. Yeah. That's what we want. They work equally. I'm gonna go ahead and put the pads in. On my cars, I usually don't lubricate the moving points because we don't have rust issues here in Oregon. And also, it's gonna wash off anyways, so I can go in like that. They're both the same, there's no front or back. Why is there mysterious fluids in this? Okay, we're gonna pretend we didn't see that. Get out of here! These springs actually have a little pocket they can sit in on these Brimbos. You guys can't really see what I'm doing. I can't really see what I'm doing, so got it. Now what we're gonna do, we're going to take one old brake pad, which has been incorrect for about 11 years or so. We're going to take this guy and we're going to smush him back in. Smush the pistons back in. Oh, these move back really easy. Is also holding pressure on this side because we have two pistons and I'm pushing on one side, so helping or putting a little pressure on this side while you're pushing on another will help get everything back in evenly and easily. Snug. Yeah, that's good. All right. Passenger side is complete. Now, after you get done doing one side or one wheel, make it a habit of going into the car and pushing on the brake pedal until it firms up. This will take up any space that is in here since this has been reset. And then also it makes it so that when you go to drive the car, the first time you hit the brakes, you don't nearly have a heart attack. Well, we're looking good back there with our new rotors and Brembo pads. I have done the driver's side, front and rear. I was gonna wait to do this because I got a wheel bearing coming for it. But we got Bendix rotors and Bendix pads in the back. Those pads were pretty well shot. They didn't have a whole lot left on them. I got a little trick I got to show you guys because I don't have the turn and squeeze tool for this style brake caliper. I'm going to show you what I did. And I did that part before I took anything else apart or banged off some rotors or whatever. You know, there's the one step you got to make sure that you can do without having to go and get tools or parts. Okay. Oh god, just comes off. Fun thing to note, every time I do brake jobs like this, I always look at the shocks and see if they're leaking. These here are the originals, and I don't know how well you can see on the camera because I can't see the screen very well. These are just starting to go bad. But that's okay. I have plans. It's gonna get new shocks and new struts. The front left is creaking a little bit, so I'm gonna swap those out. But I'm gonna do something on top of that, literally. Anyways, oh, I'm so glad I did this. I'm gonna show you what's going on here. By the way, the toolage has been very minimal. I forgot what I had up front. I don't know, a 17 and an 18 I think is what I used up front. I'm using a 13 on the caliper bolts here. And the last person to touch these rear brakes was actually me. I put Duralast brake pads in here because for whatever reason the Motorcraft ones that were put on here a couple of years after Mom bought the car, I think, they were just junk. And these have been on here since about 2010, 2011. I don't know. But anyways, I was the last person to do the brakes. I don't know if I made a video on it, but I know I did a video on the front brakes. I might splice in some clips here in a second, or maybe I already did it. I don't know. Alright. These just slide out. Yeah, that's what's left. That's a pretty significant difference. But this inner pad looked like it was pretty well. Oh yeah, it was getting a little stuck in there, and it's all uneven. Yeah, it needed brakes. The fronts were kind of okay, but the pads were wearing a little uneven, and a lot of it was because of those slider pins were just getting gummed up. So I've cleaned those and re-greased them. The bracket bolts are 15 millimeter. And then we grab a hammer here and we strike our wrench with the plastic part. The reason why I use the plastic part of the handle is one, this thing's kind of heavy and it's hard to strike this, and I like this ratchet. Okay, kind of clean this up a little bit. That slider moves. Yep, that one's good. If they move freely like that, I kind of leave them alone. Alright, we're going to beat the brakes off this too. This is probably going to piss a Southerner off. Okay, I got to hit it a little harder. So a few limp-wristed taps in. And, you know, she's gone. I've got a wheel bearing going kind of south on me here. I'm pretty sure it's that back left, but I'll throw it in. I already bought it. All right. Pop these clips out of here. Bendix kit came with new hardware, whereas the Brembo kit did not. I love using tools the wrong way. Okay. I'm gonna take this rag here and just clean out any dirt. This is just dirt. No rust. So and then the new rotor, we'll just wipe this off with some IPA wipage. Oh, actually, you know what I wanted to do before that, I got distracted by someone laughing. There's no crust on here, not where it mates anyway, so I'm just going to wipe it off. Kind of haphazardly. The center part here doesn't actually make contact with the rotor, it's just this outer flange you want to make sure it doesn't have any big debris, any chunguses. Not too worried about it. Big tab goes on the outside, and then your big back goes towards the well, it goes towards the caliper. In there. Also, when you put your brake pads in, don't put them in like with the braking material facing out, because that will defeat the whole purpose of doing the brakes. So the normal tool for this type of caliper will have like, it'll be kind of like this tool I got here, but what it'll do is as you turn this in to compress the piston, there'll be like a little disc, and it will slide into these little slots, and it'll turn the caliper or the piston as it's pushing it in. What you can do, and this is what I did, I just got a pair of vice grips on here and just grabbed the piston, or the top of the piston here, and just give it a turn. It might be a little stiff at first. Try not to grab the boot. But you can just spin it like that. And then I'll get this in here, and what I ended up doing was I put pressure on it, I would turn it, put pressure on it and turn it until it collapsed all the way. So it's going in now, but the boot's kind of wadding up on it. I'm going to try and get a pick and free it up, maybe spray some lube in there. But that's all you got to do. You just twist that with a pair of vice grips, and then you just turn with your tool here, and it will compress all the way. And now the piston is compressed. It's a little fiddly, but it does work. Oh, you also want to make sure you line up your slot. The slots need to go that way. Wanted to kind of let the boot, there we go. Also, twisting like that with a little bit of penetrant in there help the boot kind of go back home and not be all wrangled. And then we'll just make sure that this is squeezed down. It doesn't need to go any further because there's plenty of room between the pad and the caliper once you get it down to that point. And then it should do something like that. Snug. Snug. Now, once again, go in the driver's seat, push on that brake pedal nice and firm a few times, and that'll close the gap on all this, and you should be good to go. Alright, once you're done with your brakes, go for a test drive. Make sure there's no screechies, squealies, knockies, clunkies. Everything's all smooth. Take it out somewhere where you can get up to about 45, 50 miles an hour. And then, as long as nobody's behind you, just give her a few brake applications, real light at first, and gradually get a little more aggressive. And what that's going to do is it's going to help these brake pads bed into the brake rotors. This needs to happen in order for the brakes to work to their full potential. And what's happening is the brake pad material is bonding into the brake rotors. And, science and stuff. But anyways, it's a good idea to give it a few light brake applications, get a little more aggressive as you go, and you should be good to go. Or, if you really don't care, slap your brakes on, just go. Someone's going to slow you down anyway, so you're going to have to use your brakes eventually. Yeah, that's all I got. I need to finish this video up and go get food. I'm hungry. It's Taco Tuesday. I want steak tacos. That sounds pretty good. Drove it to work today. It stops real nice now. No shakies, no vibraties, no squealies, scritchies, scratchies, all of the above. Just smooth and works effectively. So, yeah. That's it. Off to the scrap pile you go. It's crazy seeing these 11 years later. I was the one that put those on. Oh, I also put the rotors on wrong too. I had them flipped. Like driver side to passenger, passenger to driver. Yeah, I'm just